I'm gonna do a gear list of all the stuff. I was about to put everything up and wash everything, so I thought before I did that I think this is everything. Okay, well, we'll start with my backpack. I have a Osprey 50 liter. I got it off of Amazon, I don't know, a long time ago for cheap. Okay. I had a little packable chair. I did my backpack, and then I saw where people had a fanny pack, so I did that. I just got this cheap little fanny pack from REI, and so like I had my fanny pack and I kept my phone and my chapstick in my fanny pack, and it made it easier to access that stuff, and then I didn't take up my pockets on my backpack. And then plus my phone's kind of big, so that just made it easy. And then sometimes I would carry what else did I carry? My rubber bands. This is not how I had my bag packed. I had unpacked everything, and then I was gonna start going through washing, putting stuff up, and then I shoved everything back in my bag to do the video. So I had rain gear. I had a rain jacket, and it's Frog Togs. And then I had these rain pants. They are Frog Togs too, I think. No, these are Magellan, and these fold up really small into the pocket. And I kept both of these in my top, where is it? Oh, this one, sorry. I kept them in my top backpack pouch right there. And I had those, and then I also had those to sleep in if I was too cold at night. I had a doo-doo sleeping pad. This is the Outdoorsman Lab. Hate it. So my sleeping pad, it just doesn't work well. It's not real thick. I could feel the ground, and I would just roll off of it, and it was miserable. So next hiking trip, different sleeping situation. I had a pillow. The pillow was kind of the same situation. It was kind of the same situation. I would just roll off of it. My head would roll off of it. So I tried to not blow it up as much, and it didn't help. Sleeping pad pillow just kind of like gets kicked off to the side. Sleeping, it's just, I don't know. So I need to figure out something different. I don't know. It's just not comfortable. Where we backpacked at, a bear canister is not required, but it's highly recommended. There's no grizzlies, but there's black bears, and so it's really to make sure that the bears don't associate people in camping spots with snackies. So we did bring a bear canister, and let me listen here, Linda. This thing, I try to decorate it with stickers to kind of help my relationship with it, but it is big, and it is heavy, and it is awkward in the pack. This is a Bear Vault 500, and it was $94 for this annoying thing. So I had to carry this, and had to shove all my food in here. And then at night I also had to put my chapstick, toothpaste, anything like that also had to go in here at night. And then you have to walk 100 feet and go put it somewhere 100 feet away from your campsite. So yeah, this was a pain in my rear. It was hard just dealing with all that. Okay, what else? I packed mostly Mountain House. I think, yeah, mostly Mountain House, other than I think my oatmeal and my mashed potatoes. Mountain House. I think these were great. They were all delish. Highly recommend. Oh, but one thing to note. Okay, so this has how many servings? 2.5 servings in this. In one serving, there is 900 milligrams of sodium. This has so much salt. So if you watch my backpacking video, backpacking movie, my face gets so puffy, so big. And I was thinking it was because I'm not sleeping good, like, you know, all this kind of stuff. No, it was because I was having so much sodium. And every day I was also drinking my electrolyte in my water, because I'm used to running, and so I'm like just sweating. So like my mind was still set to, okay, you know, you don't want to get your electrolytes off. So I was still drinking my electrolyte. But this had so much sodium in this that towards the end of the trip, because I was just hiking, I was sweating, but I wasn't sweating a whole, like, I'm not like running, sweating. So I was not sweating out all the sodium, and my face was so puffy, and I'm pretty sure it's because I was overloaded with the salt, not because I was sleeping bad, not because I'm a troll. So just keep in mind, lots of sodium in those. Lots. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I did that. And then for my food, little propane, which the propane, if you're flying, you obviously can't fly with it, so you have to buy it where you're at. My little mini stove, and this was my setup. Austin's was way better. I love his little, what does he have? The little jet boil, little fancy thing. I think that's probably a good upgrade. This, I mean, this is just your basic one, and it's just kind of sketchy, you know, like having to balance it, you know. I just think it's I don't know, his was nice. His might be worth the money, buying his, if you're gonna be, you know, doing this often. So this was my little setup to cook. I did the cheap setup, you know, these. Do pay attention when you buy these, the measurement and crap, because you have to measure your water, so you want to make sure you have you know, a way to measure your water. So this one had ounces and milliliters, and then I think my coffee cup might have had cups. So that is something to keep in mind. So this was my coffee cup. I like my coffee cup. It's a little cheap plastic coffee cup, but it has a lid and it's got this little insulation on it. So my coffee stayed hot for a really long time, and I enjoyed it. And it's light, and I just clip it on my backpack. Let's see. So inside my bear box, we did two different things for our, I'm burning up. Back in Texas, 100 freaking degrees. So the options that we did for our water, so our backpacks have the little, you know, side pockets for our water. So we bought the platypus and water bottle, wide mouth water bottle. And this is what we did while we were hiking. And I loved it. So I had this water bottle, and then I have a bigger one. I have a big one. Where is it? Okay. So hiking, I had this one, and then I had this one with no filter. And there was like a lot of water crossings on the trail. So we would just go and scoop, and this is what we had, and we just grabbed it and was able to drink like this. They make a system like this, but it's a straw. So it's like your water bottle, but it has a straw, which we both want to upgrade to that, because you can't get these water bottles out of your backpack. So you have to actually stop, and each other has to get your water bottle out and hand it to, and then put it back for each other. So if you had a straw, you wouldn't have to do that. I do like this though. We did not do the bladder. I would not do a bladder with a 40-pound sack, because the amount of times you would have to fill up and then take your crap out, deal with your bladder. The pack was tight. I couldn't imagine. So do not recommend a bladder. Recommend that. So for back in Texas, Whataburger, when we were at camp and when we had to cook, you can't pour out of this. You can, you know, suck it and drink it, but you can't pour filtered water out. So we had these for to cook with. What is it? Sawyer. So we would fill this up, do this, and then you squirt it into a water bottle or into your pot, and then use this for cooking. So you have to have both. So we had that. Had this, a little towel for drying off. Then I carried emergency blanket, a little rain poncho. Actually, I carried two, and I carried two ponchos. I had a knife. These are the electrolytes I use, Element. They have 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 600 milligrams of magnesium. So this on top of those Mountain House, overload of salt. These are delicious, and they're very easy, and it's a lot of food. 4 servings. So we were eating this for lunch, and this was a lot. I mean, that's a big meal. For my snacks, I did these little fruit leathers. These are so good. It's of nuts, mini bars, RX minis, no BS. What is that noise? These are really good. But Deep Woods, not wet wipes. Ooh, don't use that as a wet wipe. As bug stuff. I had that. I also had bug spray, Deep Woods spray, little rope. One night we did make a one evening we did make a clothes hanger. Clothes on, yeah. Let's see, a hat. We went in July and it got pretty cold at night, so I did bring a puffer. This is Cotopaxi, and actually slept in this a couple nights, so it was pretty cold, and this helped. So that Darn Tough socks. I think these are a must, right? So I had Darn Tough socks. These were the little thicker ones. They were good. And then I also had some thinner ones. I don't know how many socks I brought. I did end up having to wash some in the water, let them dry, rewear, whatever. Long spoon. Okay, don't get stuck out there with no short spoon because your hands are gonna get dirty. I had paper map of the area. I also had, we had no phone service, so I had I did All Trails for the 7-day free trial for the offline version, and then Austin had CalTopo. So those were our 3 things that we used to figure out our mileage, and none of the mileage matched. None of the mileage was accurate on what we were doing. So whatever you think the mileage is going to be, you need to add 3 miles. Add 3 miles just to be safe. Okay. My tent was Austin's tent. He let me use it, and it was the Mystic. What is this word? Mystic One backpacking tent by ALPS Mountaineering, whatever that is. Loved it. 10/10. Recommend this tent. 1-person tent. So easy to set up. Loved it. Loved it. So great little tent. Sleeping bag was also Austin's sleeping bag, and this was the Climate KSB 20 down sleeping bag, rating for 20 degrees Fahrenheit. This was a good sleeping bag. I did get cold for whatever was outside of the sleeping bag, so some nights I slept with my puffer and I was like in my sleeping bag, but it was a good sleeping bag. My trekking poles, I don't even know. I do ultra running, so I've had these. I don't know where I got them. The Fit Life, I don't know. So these are the ones that I use, and I've done lots of miles with these, and they're fine, and they are foldable, so that's convenient. Is that all the things? I did have a dinner bell for the bears. Add a dinner bell to let them know supper's ready. Carabiners. Carabiners just to hang stuff on. I hiked in my Solomon, no, not Solomon, crap, my, what are my shoes that Sauconys. I run in those, hike in those. There's the Saucony Paragens, I don't know what they're called. They start with a P something. Great shoe, great. 10 out of 10 recommend those shoes. I also brought my sandals. So my sandals are Bedrock sandals. I brought these, stuck them in my pack. Now I recommend, these people need to sponsor me. I've been wearing these shoes probably for the last 5 years, almost every single day, unless it's wintertime. And so these, I love these shoes. So I had these. I did not use them for water crossings, but I used them for at the camp and stuff. What else is in here? More rope, and then the lid to my cup. And I brought, for my clothes, I had a sports bra on, I had a sun shirt on with a hood, and I started off, these are Lulu shorts, so I brought like 2 pairs of these, and then another pair of Magellan shorts that are kind of like this, and I kept my sports bra and my shirt the same, and then my shorts, I would switch those out, and then I would wash like a pair. I'd wash in the river, wash, try to clean, same with my shirt, and then like hang it up at night, and then kind of like alternate my shorts that way. And then at nighttime I had 1 pair of shorts, 1 shirt, and like a soft little tank bra type thing. That's what I slept in every night. And so there was one morning that I had to hike. I did hike in my sleeping clothes, but that was because I was freezing to death, and I had washed my shorts and my shirt and my sports bra, and they did not dry at all, and they were freezing to death. So I hung them from my pack, and we hiked about 3 miles and kind of let them dry out some. I got hot, and then I eventually put those back on. So that was my clothes situation. My batteries, we didn't have phone service, so our phone stayed in airplane mode, which I think that probably helped keeping those batteries. I have a Garmin Phoenix 6 Sapphire is my watch. It stayed charged. I had it running on hiking, and it stayed charged the entire day. So my batteries sucked. I had a solar battery that was junk. I threw it away because I had it hanging on my pack thinking like the sun would charge it, and it sucked. It barely charged. It didn't want to charge my phone. It was junk. So then the other battery pack that I had, I don't know, a little rugged battery pack. I don't know the brand of it, but it works great, and it charges really good and long. It's a great pack, but it kept throwing an error on my phone. It kept saying overcharging something, I don't know. So it wasn't wanting to charge my phone. Austin's battery packs that he had, I will have to figure out the name of those and maybe put the link down at the bottom. His were amazing. I ended up using his. He brought 3 of them. I think we only went through 1 and maybe a little of another one. So his worked really good. No issue with his batteries. So what else? What else am I forgetting? I did have dry bags. I had a little dry bag that I kept my clothes in, like my extra shorts and my sleep clothes, and I had that tied real tight and put in my bag just in case. Austin had us rain jackets for our backpacks. We did have to use those once. It actually started hailing and raining on us the last day, so we did have to use those. What else? We were out there for 5 days, and this still has some in it. It's probably half full, and then Austin's is probably the same. We kind of shared, you know, sometimes he would get his out, we would just use one or whatever. We didn't always just get both out, and so probably together we probably just used one total, to give you an idea. And we cooked lunch and we cooked supper. So sometimes we skipped eating and cooking lunch, but we would cook that lunch in the evening with our supper. Coffee, I don't have any more of the coffee. Maybe I'll try to post a link of the coffee too. We love coffee. Coffee is our thing. So we had to have coffee, and good coffee. So he found these little instant coffee packs from the Asian Mart, and they already have sugar and creamer in them, and it's delicious. We had to mix 2 packs per 12 ounces of water, and we only packed enough, let's see, I think, or 12 ounces, I don't know. We packed 2 packets of coffee a day, and looking back, we should have packed enough for evening coffee and morning coffee, because having extra coffee and something warm in the evening like that would have been a really nice treat. But we only packed enough for 1 cup of coffee in the morning. So I think that's it. If I think of something else, I think that's all my stuff. Okay. I guess I'm done. That's all the hiking stuff. We did pack extra food. We didn't know if we were going to be out there for 6 days, and we packed enough food to have for 7 days. The 7th day would have been a little uncomfortable. We would have been having to kind of scrounge around the food, but it would have been fine if something would have happened. We planned extra just in case. So I fit, was it 7 days of food in here, or 6 days? I think 6 full days of food in here, maybe, or 7. I can't remember exactly. And then for that day, the food that we were eating that day, we kept it in our backpacks. So then we would go through that food. Then at the end of the night, we would have a little extra space in here, and then we were able to put the food trash in here. And then the next day we would wake up, the food that we were eating for that day we would keep out, and then pack everything in here. By the end of the trip, this is pretty empty. I was able to put my stove in here, my coffee cup, like all kinds of stuff was able to fit in here after a few days went by. So I guess that's it. I think you just, really got to be flexible and just, I don't know, plan, think ahead, but just kind of be flexible with some stuff, because it's rough. It's an adventure. It is an adventure. but it's also a death march. It was a death march. So, yeah, that's all my stuff.